Mate, I used to love the transfer window, man, but it is just getting a bit much, isn't it? Welcome, Blue Believers, to another episode of the Stamford Sync, where we are syncing up with everything Chelsea FC. And today, no surprise, we are going to talk about transfers, but I have done a couple of videos recently where I've gone in quite hard on individual stories about individual players. So today, I'm just going to look at everything, like, as a collective, and just look at the business we've already done in terms of ins and outs, rumours about who we're looking at still bringing in, rumours about who we're looking at sending out. So it's already been a busy window. Obviously for us, for everyone, but for us, it was quite important to start 10 days before the beginning of the Club World Cup. They added in that 10-day window from June the 1st to the 10th, I think it was, to allow players to kind of beef up their squads and make some changes for the upcoming Club World Cup. And then the window opened, weirdly enough, on the day that the Club World Cup started again. So there was like a 6-day break. And as soon as the Club World Cup started, the window reopened, and we also made use of that. So I'm not going to talk about anything that we've tried and failed at. I'm just going to talk about what has happened. As of right now, technically, we have got 6 new faces in the team, and that list comprises of Jamie Gittens, a left winger from Borussia Dortmund, superstar striker João Pedro that we got from Brighton, Liam Delap, who we picked up from Ipswich, Esteval Willian, who will be joining us from Palmeiras now the Club World Cup is over, Dario Isugo, who we technically picked up 6 months ago from Sporting Lisbon, and Mamadou Sarr, who was one of our first signings we got at the beginning of the window, and we bought him from our sister club Strasbourg. So already there's a lot of new faces that have come in. Obviously we've seen more of some than others. The likes of Liam Delap and João Pedro have already featured heavily. Jamie Gittens was cup-tied for the Club World Cup, so we weren't able to get a look at him. Willian has been playing with Palmeiras literally up until now, so I think we're probably going to see quite a lot of him in pre-season. And Dario Isugo and Mamadou Sarr have both featured in spits and spats across the Club World Cup and look like reasonably good young additions. Now, unless I've forgotten someone, which is very possible, we have also already technically sold 10 players. Now, this is a mix of first-teamers, Lone Stars and academy players, but one way or another, 10 players have gone out of the squad for the upcoming season. So that list comprises of Bashir Humphreys, a defender who we have sold to Burnley, Jadon Sancho, who we paid 5 mil to give back to Man United after his loan, Marcus Bettinelli, our old third keeper who will now be plying his trade at Manchester City, Lucas Bergstrom has gone to Mallorca on a free transfer after never really featuring for the club, Teddy Sharman Lowe has gone to Bolton Wanderers on loan, Kepa Arrizabalaga has been sold for £5 million to rivals Arsenal, and Noni Madueke has recently been announced for Arsenal as well. We sold him for 52 million. Matisse Mugu has gone to Strasbourg for 15 million. Zach Sturge has gone to Millwall for an undisclosed fee, but I can't imagine it was much. And Jordi Petrovic has officially signed for Bournemouth for 25 mil. So, like I say, obviously a bit of a mixed bag in that one. Notable outs most likely being Jordi Petrovic and Noni Madueke. Matisse Mugu looks like he's promising, but he's kind of still staying part of the project because at the end of the day he's gone to our sister club. But yeah, we're already creating a lot of space in the squad. And there's still a long way for this transfer window to go, right? There is still a lot of time for stuff to happen, and there's still a lot of names we're being linked to. Now, it seems like the Brass, Blueco, whatever you want to call them, I like calling them the Brass, so I'm going to keep doing that. It seems like the Brass are still interested in bringing in at least one more attacker, potentially a centre-back, and prior to the Club World Cup final, there was a lot of news that we were interested in bringing in a goalkeeper. Now, Robert Sanchez was amazing in the Club World Cup final and had a fairly good tournament all round, but I am concerned that this is, maybe he's just past that point and leveled up and evolved into the new form of Robert Sanchez. If he's like this all of the time, good, but we did still see a couple of moments where it was like, but if we really, really are thinking about going in for a title challenge and, trying to get deep in the Champions League, I'm not sure that keeping Robert Sanchez around is necessarily the best idea, or at least letting him unimpededly be the first goalkeeper, right? If we can bring in competition for him, someone a bit better than Philip Jorgensen, I'd feel good about that. But yeah, anyway, it seems like the talk about bringing in a goalkeeper has gone off the boil a little bit. All of the noise, the majority of the noise that we're hearing about at the moment is about attackers, and there is a little bit of news about defenders. The main obvious one being we need backup for Marco Correa, because as of right now, apart from Caleb Wiley, who I've not really heard anything about in a while, we have zero proper backup for Marco Correa. So as of kind of right now, over the last few days, these are the names that are popping up in the news quite frequently that we are being linked with. So by all accounts, it seems that the top target is actually Morgan Rogers. Now, this is a bit of a difficult one because they've put an 80 mil price tag on him, but at the same time, they're interested in Jackson, who I'll get to in a bit, and we've put 100 mil price tag on him. Now, I absolutely don't believe that to be true. In what world is Nicholas Jackson worth more than Morgan Rogers right now? It just doesn't seem to make much sense, does it? But ultimately, that does does seem to be the case. So if there is a deal to be done, maybe we can negotiate. It won't be a swap deal, but maybe we can do some negotiating there to try and buy Morgan Rogers and to try and sell Nicholas Jackson. But Morgan Rogers, I don't know, man. Like, I actually would really like to see him in the team. The only thing I worry about is unless Maresca has got an idea of how to fit him in the team straight away, someone is going to miss out unless we're looking at changing the team up a lot and we're not really going in with the idea of a starting 11. So why the dopamine hits when I hear his name, and he had an amazing season last season, and there's lots of reasons why Morgan Rogers seems like a good shout. It's a lot of money, and it'll be just really interesting to see what happens if we get him. But the list does continue. I just recently released a video about Chelsea potentially looking to hijack Arsenal's move for Eberechi Eze of Crystal Palace. The fact that he is not younger than 25 years old says that maybe the mentality is shifting towards silverware over the financial model. It'd be great to get one over on Arsenal. He's also very versatile, plays more as a left winger on the left wing than Morgan Rogers does, and also can deputise in that centre attacking role. I guess, I don't know, I really like Eze. I mean, I love watching Eze as a player, and in terms of needing backup for left wing and centre attack, I guess on paper he seems to make a bit more sense than Rogers, but Rogers seems like he could develop into a bit of a generational talent, being that he's still so young and he's already performing so well in the Premier League. So we'll keep track of it and see how that one develops. As of the last 24 hours of me recording this video, news has started to arrive about Chelsea supposedly being interested in Xavi Simons of Redbull Leipzig. Simons is another player very much in the mould of an Eberechi Eze, and he's got some touches of the Morgan Rogers about him as well. He is a versatile attacking midfielder who can play in the middle and can feature out on the left and even on the right. So it stacks up that that's the kind of player that we're looking for, right? Whatever else happened, I think it's fairly safe to say, odds on, that we are going to get one of these three players, and they all kind of share that very similar profile, don't they? Obviously, Morgan Rogers is the most expensive at 80 mil, Eberechi Eze the second at 68, and supposedly the price for Xavi Simons is looking to be in and around 50 mil. So he's definitely going to be the cheapest price. I think he's like 24, 25, something like that. But yeah, so, you know, like I say, he's another player in that mould. I would definitely favour Eze or Rogers over him, largely for the Premier League experience. But he does look like a good player, and he's versatile. And like I say, it's just kind of reinforces that is really what we're looking for. Outside of those attacking spots, and right now that does seem to be where most of the news is directed, there's been more news recently about left back, centre back from Ajax, Jorel Hato. And he just seems like a great idea, right? He's definitely able to not only play as a backup to Cucurella, but probably Levi Colwill occasionally as well. He is a centre back, left back kind of player. I wouldn't expect him to be marauding into midfield like we often get Cucurella to, but I think he could probably cover in that kind of left back, centre back role, and he's still quite young. He probably wouldn't expect to come in and get lots of instant first team game time. So I think this one kind of makes sense. It's looking to be in and around 40 mil. Seems like a smart buy, if I'm completely honest. You know, he's had a good season with Ajax. He's still young. He fits a profile that we definitely need at the moment and can cover multiple positions. So Jorel Hato, I am for that one. And last of the players that I've seen this linked to in the last few days, at least, by the way, I'm not even doing the whole window. I'm just isolating this to what I've seen in like the last 3 or 4 days. It's South Korean centre back from Bayern Munich, Kim Min-jae. So he had an amazing season at Napoli and then went to Bayern Munich, but he has been struggling for game time. Now, there's lots of conversations with our defensive stuff at the moment, right? Like, we're obviously really happy with Levi Colwill. I think Trevor Chalobah's staying now. I hope Trevor Chalobah's staying now because I think he's great. I think if we actually put our trust in him, I think he will just continue to get better. He's kind of been playing really well in spite of his relationship with the club as opposed to because of it. Personally, I'd be pretty happy to see Trevor Chalobah being the man going forward. You know what I mean? He was amazing in the final against PSG, and we've obviously got Tosin Adarabioyo, who's proven to be absolutely able to just come in and play well in that position as well. The other one we've got that we're not talking about getting rid of is Benoit Badiashile, and it seems to be mixed opinions about him at the moment. There is definitely some news about people being interested in him and him maybe being available for sale. Per some reports, his performances in the Club World Cup have basically garnered him some respect from the staff, right? So it might be a case of we actually aren't looking to sell Badiashile now, and if that is the case, I wouldn't expect us to go in for someone like Kim Min-jae. It feels like the same kind of profile, right? And I don't think we need another centre-back of that kind of profile if we're keeping everyone we've got. But that's it for the ins for the last few days. So I'm going to move on to the outs, and there's a lot of them. There's just so much transfer stuff, so I'm trying to get through this stuff as quick as I can without indulging myself too much in what I think about each situation. So Nicholas Jackson has recently been linked with 3 clubs. They are AC Milan, Man United and Aston Villa. AC Milan appear to be out of that conversation. They are put off by the €115 million price tag that's been put on him, and supposedly have now directed their attention to Rasmus Højlund of Man United. And that's great for Man United, isn't it? Because they need to get rid of that guy, man. Biggest waste of money. If they can get half of the money that they got for him, then fair play. At the end of the day, I'd like to see him stay there. But, you know, it does make sense. And like I say, what that really means is it looks like AC Milan are out of the running. So if Nicholas Jackson is going to go, at the moment, the two leading contenders seem to be Man United and Aston Villa. Tell me in the comments which one of those you think will get him, and would you prefer an exchange for Morgan Rogers or Alejandro Garnacho? Other outgoings, Axel Disasi, we are looking to make a loss on because Newcastle are coming in. They're saying we want him. They're looking at paying 30 mil. We bought him for 45. He's only had 2 seasons. We're going to make a bit of a loss on him, but he's on enough of, not a massive wage, but enough to, you know, that'll definitely clear some of the wages cobwebs if we can get him off the books, and it will give us some more room to bring people in. So this is an interesting one. Supposedly Bayern Munich are interested in both of Malagusto and Renato Vega. Renato Vega, if they come in for him and they pay anything north of 20 mil, he'll go. That's, you know, that's double the money that we bought him for. I absolutely see that working for them. And, you know, he just, you know, we only had him for 6 months and then he was like, I want to go on loan and play as a centre back. So, you know, we kind of let him go. That one's just kind of been written in the stars or on the wall or wherever you look at your writing. That one's been there for a little while. No one's going to be particularly surprised if Renato Vega goes. We'll make some money for him. He is in isolation, a new type of buy that you're going to start seeing more often from our owners. Do you know what I mean? They are going to be buying players in that can quickly increase their value, and we will sell them quickly in order to make profit. Malagusto, though, not really sure. Malagusto obviously played really, really well in the final, and that was not as much doing that crazy inverted midfield thing and being everywhere that he has been doing. He played much more of a solid right-back role, right? And he definitely seemed to just play better as that, having a bit less responsibility and a bit less to do and a bit, you know, of more of a one-note role to focus on. He definitely did really well. Aside from that, Maresca obviously really rates him because he keeps getting in. Even when he plays bad and wastes shots and, you know, just kind of runs around like a headless chicken, Enzo Maresca is seeing something that the rest of us are not. I would be surprised to see Malagusto go, because if we do, the only thing that says to me is that Josh Achiampong is getting promoted again to, you know, feature a lot more in the first team. But he had a good tournament. He had a really good final, and Maresca seems to love him. So I'm not convinced. I've seen this rumour a couple of times, and I'm just not convinced that's going to happen. So young Alfie Gilchrist, we all remember that goal, don't we? He's been a Chelsea fan all of his life, and he came on and scored in his first appearance for us. It was absolutely amazing, but he's never really looked at getting himself into our team. So it is a mix of Saudi Arabian clubs and championship clubs that are in for Alfie Gilchrist at the moment. That is one that, yes, I can see happening. He's academy, so we'll make pure profit for him. I wish him really well because he's a Chelsea boy, a Chelsea fan, and he gave us a fantastic moment, but I don't think he's got any chance of getting into the first team, especially now. So Alfie Gilchrist is probably going to get moved on. Another kind of nice story. It's not super concrete, and I haven't actually seen numbers flying around yet, but there is news and some reports to intimate that Leeds are interested in a deal for Ben Chilwell. Their left back, Junior Firpo, I think it is, Brazilian guy, he has just left the club after they've been promoted to the Premier League, and Ben Chilwell just makes sense, doesn't it? Ben Chilwell deserves to be playing first team football all the time, because if you put him in his right position, he's great. His kind of tactical acumen and you know, the thing that he is best at doesn't really exist in our team at the moment. It kind of leaves too many gaps. Even when Pochettino was here, he used him more as a left winger than a left back. Do you know what I mean? And obviously Marc Cucurella is so good now. I wouldn't even say that you'd look at Ben Chilwell like a backup to Marc Cucurella, because they just, like, even though they start at left back, they just literally play different positions. And Ben Chilwell was so good for us. So I'd absolutely love him to go out there and get a move to a team like a really hungry Leeds. Yes, it's a relegation battle, but he'll get to play a lot of football. The fans will absolutely love him, and I just want to see him go on and do well. So I hope this one happens. And last, about the rumours and things that I've actually seen, it is something about João Felix. So we've been looking to get rid of João Felix since the January transfer window. Obviously, we loaned him to AC Milan. He didn't do particularly well, and in terms of like the top 5 football leagues, he's just not really looking like he can get any game time there at the moment. Do you know what I mean? A lot of different teams have tried João Felix. He's obviously Benfica originally, Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, Chelsea, AC Milan, and it never has he managed to get a foothold in the team and just kind of, you know, cement his position there. So I think making a move back to Benfica works for him. He's actually just turned down moves to Porto in Portugal and Flamengo in Brazil. So it seems that he wants Benfica as well. I think he just wants to go home, essentially. And yeah, I kind of hope that for him as well, man. It's a sad story because João Felix just looked to be one of those players that could explode into this absolutely magical player. And he's still only like 25 years old. Do you know what I mean? So he's not even hit his prime yet, but he's just been around for so long and he's been to so many clubs, and he's just got to be mentally exhausted by it all at this point. point. So for us, it's not great because we will make a loss on him. Obviously, we bought him for 42 million at the start of last season, and we're only looking at selling him for 25. But freeing up his wages off the book and creating a new place in the squad for a player of that ilk is a really important thing that we need to do. So for that, I do hope that João Felix gets moved on to Benfica and he has a good time there. So that is it. That is a wrap up of the last 5 days worth of transfer business all in one video. Sorry if this has been a bit of a long one. There's just so much going on, man. It used to be so easy to follow transfer news, right? And now it's just, there are new things every single day. Like, for instance, we were linked with Donnarumma the day before the final, right? And then all of a sudden, that's definitely not happening anymore. But these things just hop in and out of nowhere, and some of it is maybe players looking to try and leverage, transfer news to get new negotiations with their clubs. Donnarumma being an example of that because he's in contract talks with PSG right now. But there's just so much happening, and as a content creator, it's great because it means I've got loads to talk about, and I hope you guys enjoy it. If you are enjoying the content and would like to see more, please do me the distinct honor of liking or sharing the video, subscribe to the channel, or just roast me in the comments, whatever gets you through your day. Nice one, guys. I'm going to leave it there. There's going to be more to talk about. I'm going to be back. Don't you worry about that. It's Chelsea. It's transfer season, and it's Chelsea. This is the time of year where there is the most in the world to talk about, and I will be back on your screens very, very soon if you want to see me. Nice one, guys. Hope you're having a wicked day, and I'll catch up with you very, very soon. Take it easy. Peace.